have some fun? Yes. I'm the one that's been on a plane and haven't slept for days. It seems like you guys are the ones that are sleeping. So thank you for that wonderful introduction. This is an amazing opportunity that I have to really kind of open up Malaysia, right? We've been in Malaysia for a little bit of while, but what you don't realize is that Zija International has completely invested its time and efforts into absolutely making Malaysia the spokes country of Southeast Asia. And I'm excited here today. I'm actually the Chief Operating Officer of Zija International, as well as the Senior Vice President of Research and Development. And so what I want to do is I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my story. What has brought me to Zija International? They've given me like an hour to speak, so that usually means I'm going to speak for like 3 or 4 hours, right? So get comfortable. I'm a middle child, and so whenever somebody gives me the microphone, I never let go of it. So here we go. This is, I've always been a nerd, right? The bow tie doesn't lie. I'm a nerd. I've always enjoyed reading. It's actually a hobby of mine to collect textbooks. That's right, it's a hobby of mine to collect textbooks. So when other kids were out there playing soccer and having fun, I was in my room reading, right? And for those of you who don't believe me, the absence of dates in high school would pretty much validate that statement. Right? So I've always been a nerd. I've always enjoyed science, but there's one story in particular that really inspired me and set me on the path which I am today. I was about 10 years old, and I was reading a textbook in my room one day, and I read a story of a scientist who had gone on to discover a drug that he found naturally in nature that had gone on to save millions of people's lives. Now that story inspired me because the tree in which he found it from was a tree that was so common. It was called the California yew tree. Now this tree in California, millions and millions of people drive by every day. Millions of people saw this tree and didn't think about it twice. And when I read this story, it was so inspiring to me because I imagined a mother going to the doctor and getting a grave diagnosis that she had just a few months to live. And on her way home, she went to a park and she sat in the shade of that California tree, thinking that that tree had nothing to give her but shade. When in actuality, that tree actually held the solution, the cure to the problems which she had. And that story inspired me so much because it led me to believe how often are we just sitting in the shade of nature's solutions, thinking that nature has nothing more to offer us. And if that scientist did dig deeper, millions of people's lives would have been lost. While that mother sat in that shade of that tree, thinking how she was going to tell her husband and her children she had just a few months to live, what really needed to happen was a scientist needed to unlock nature's true potential. Now, it was that story that led me on the course of being a scientist. Raymond did a wonderful job introducing me. Thank you, Raymond. It's been a great time knowing you over the years, but this is something that I really want you guys to take home. Now, I graduated from Harvard Medical School with a doctorate in biomedical sciences. First in my class, did it in half the time. I think it's actually the second fastest in Harvard's history. I was an NIH fellow. I received the American Association for the Advancement of Science Award for Best Student Research. I've been asked to speak at numerous conferences. And so when I was graduated, I was offered jobs across the globe, offered very high-end jobs, offering me primo dollars, right? And I grew up poor to very, very poor. And so it was exceptionally difficult for me to turn those jobs down. But when those jobs presented themselves to me, I realized And I had flashbacks of when I was 10 years old reading in the textbook. And so I turned them down, and I actually sought out ZJ International. You see, because ZJ International is a company that is leading the natural health revolution. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail of what that means. But you see, ZJ International was a company that had set itself apart from all other companies out there because of the difference they make in people's lives. Now, as a scientist, I realized that the greatest changes in life are not going to come through the greatest innovations. The greatest changes in life are going to come through small changes that we do every day. For example, 6 out of the top 10 diseases that kill us today, we know the cure to. We know what causes them. We know how to prevent them. Just in America alone, just in America, 10 million lives could be saved every year if they just ate right and exercised. Globally, that number is probably in the hundreds of millions. Now, think about that. Hundreds of millions of lives could be saved if people just ate the right food and exercised. But yet that's never a solution we're looking to change. Right? We're not wanting to eat right. We're not wanting to exercise. What we're wanting to do is we're wanting to get sick, and we're wanting a doctor to take care of us. That is not a lifestyle we're living. Do you realize 70% of North America is on a prescription medication? 70% take a daily prescription drug from their doctor. 66% of us struggle being overweight. 7 out of 10 of us are on a path for creating problems that are going to shorten our lives because of just the food we ate just a few hours ago. Right? It's kind of depressing. So I want to thank everyone for welcoming me to Malaysia, and it's going to be a pleasure. No, I'm not. I'm going to tell you how to get better. Right? I'm not going to stop there. You see, what we have done is in society, we have created a culture of problems. We've created a culture of problems, and we are not willing to recognize the small changes we can do every day as a solution. What I'm going to talk to you about today are some small changes each one of you could make for drastic improvement in your life. Small changes, drastic improvement. Right? So when we talk about ZJ International is leading the natural health revolution. The natural health revolution is something that I created shortly after I came out of school. Understanding that more lives could be saved every year by simply naturally nourishing our body, naturally healing our body, and naturally conditioning our body than any drug ever being discovered. If we just simply practice those 3 principles of naturally nourishing, naturally healing, and naturally conditioning, hundreds of millions of lives would be saved. But it's up to us to make those small changes in each one of those areas. So pioneering the natural health revolution, I partnered with Ken Brailsford, the icon in the industry that you just learned about. Understanding that Ken Brailsford is the vehicle that would allow me to carry my dream of changing the world. Rather than me sitting behind a bench trying to find some mystery drug that's only going to have a minimal impact in people's lives, I realized I could do more to change the world by doing just what I'm doing now. Speaking to hundreds of people and inspiring them to reach for something more. Speaking to hundreds of people and inspiring them to reach out for something better in their lives and health. And if I'm able to inspire just a few people in this room who go on to inspire a few others, who then go on to inspire a few others, all of a sudden, millions of people's lives have been changed. That's the power of the natural health revolution. Now, I also chose the word revolution when I came up with this because it's not easy. It's not. It's challenging. Right? When we look at the diets that we're exposed to, just this morning, this afternoon, shortly after I got off the plane, I had Shira, she went outside. I had Shira drive me to the local grocery store. The abundance of sugar, soda, candy, these diets are similar to that in North America now. Right? You've probably seen a huge increase in people with diabetes. You're probably seeing people that are struggling maintaining a healthy waistline. These aren't supposed to be our challenges, but yet the food we eat is causing them. And so I chose the word revolution because what it means is it's going to be hard. It's a small change, but the small change doesn't mean it's going to be easy. You see, a small change sometimes is going to be the greatest struggle. Because it's as you begin to embrace a healthy lifestyle, what's going to happen is all of a sudden somebody's going to say, hey, drink this. Have some soda. Have another helping of dessert. Eat this, eat that. It's wonderful cake to be shared. And before you know it, you realize that your revolution has failed. And you'll become discouraged. But that's the power of a revolution. A revolution isn't meant to be easy. A revolution is meant to be impactful. A revolution is meant to inspire change. And by embracing a revolution, that means it's going to be hard, but you will make an impact. You see, in a revolution, the greatest thing you have is your voice. It is the silent voice that you have of the minority of individuals that shouting, understanding, and demanding something more that creates that change. I liken a revolution kind of like sitting in a boat going down a river. You're just casually sitting in the boat, but the river is going to have a waterfall soon. You see, in today's society, with the food that we eat and our healthcare system, we're just sitting in a boat. We're casually accepting everything that the doctors are giving us. We're casually accepting the food that is being brought before us. But there's an impeding waterfall we are soon going to go over. It takes our courage to jump out of that waterfall and to begin to swim upstream. So ZJ International is leading this charge. I've inspired millions of people to change their lives for the better, and I encourage you guys to actually search the hashtag Natural Health Revolution, and you will see the countless weight loss stories, the countless lives improving from these products that I'm going to talk to you about. See, small changes in these products that you will see these drastic impacts in your life. I encourage you to not only search that hashtag, but to post your own transformations with that hashtag as well. Natural Health Revolution. In fact, over the last 30 days, 11 million people have been exposed to that hashtag, Natural Health Revolution. Just showing you the impact ZJ International is having on the world today. So as I mentioned before, the revolution is three areas: naturally nourishing, naturally healing, and naturally conditioning. I'm going to speak on naturally nourishing. Do you realize 87% of the people in developed countries are malnourished? 87% of us do not have the base level of nutrients in our diet. That means many of us are sick. We are sick because we are not eating the right foods. And we'll go to doctors, we'll get drugs, we'll do all these different things, but it really just boils down to the food we're eating. And sadly, the problem is that the food industry will actually intentionally make our food without nutrients. Because when they make our food without nutrients, we become less full, and we will continually eat more and more. This is interesting. I'm going to come down here for a second, so I'm going to start asking people some questions. People get a little nervous. They actually did a study where they gave mice Oreo cookies, little cookies, and cocaine. The drug, cocaine, right? And she's smart. They gave mice Oreo cookies and cocaine. Listen, I always like this study, right? As a scientist, I was able to buy cocaine, right? This is kind of fun, right? Not too many people can say that. But we gave mice cookies and cocaine. And what happened is they then removed the cookies and the cocaine. And guess which one the mice craved more? The cookies. The cookies. Now, a lot of you might be saying, I don't know about that, Dr. Plant. Cookies over cocaine? But come on, how many of us say, I'm just going to have one cookie? And the next thing you know, you wake up in the morning in a gutter with cookie crumbs all over your face. Right? It's because you realize just how addictive that food can be. And you'll continually eat and eat and eat. Now, who wins if we are constantly eating? It's the food industry. We just spent more money on that food. They know what they're doing. We are malnourished. Our food is engineered to make us just nothing more than consuming machines. Now, a lot of us may say, I can get my nutrients through a multivitamin. Right? I'll take one of those multivitamins and my day is done. Stop taking your multivitamins. Stop it. Study after study has gone on to show that those synthetic vitamins do more to harm our health than to help it. In fact, the National Institutes of Health in the early 2000s had to do a study where they looked at vitamin A in lung cancer. And they actually had to stop the study prematurely because people were getting cancer. But yet, we continue to sell the multivitamins, even though so many studies have gone on to show the damaging effects of synthetic nutrients in our diet. So stop taking your multivitamins. Now, is it possible that we could also eat healthy? Right? Absolutely. In fact, if I'm needing vitamin A, where would I get the vitamin A? Carrots, excellent. You got a lot of friends here to help you. Good job. Stay close to them. Carrots, right? Carrots, perfect. You'll go spend a couple of dollars, right? I'm speaking in U.S. terms. I don't know what they cost here. A couple of dollars in America, right? And you'll buy carrots. Now, you're also needing vitamin C. Vitamin C is critical for your skin. It actually helps with collagen, helps with the immune system, right? Where would you get vitamin C? Oranges, lemons, your citrus is great. So you'll spend a couple more dollars. You'll go to the local market, you'll get those oranges and lemons. Now, in addition to that, you're also needing your essential fatty acids. These are the things that are important for your cognitive development, your brain development. Where would you get that? Fish, correct, you're good, excellent. I'll ask her the next time. Excellent, right? So we get the fish. Now we have to spend a couple more dollars and we get that fish. We got that essential fatty acids. Now, there's also this critical nutrient called methionine. Without methionine, all protein synthesis in your body will stop and you'll die. Where would you get methionine? Sorry. Exactly, no one knows, right? No one knows. But yet we go through our days just assuming we're going to get it. Right? We're going to assume that Burger King is going to give it to us, right? We're going to assume that the cookie guy is going to give it to us, right? But the problem is no one's watching out for our diets. We have outsourced our health to the street vendors, to the supermarkets, to the fast food industry. No one is watching out for our health. And so methionine, that without it we would die? Who's making sure we get that? No one. We don't even know where to find it. You see the challenge in today's society? Do you see why our children's cognitive performance is declining? It's because they're not eating the right foods. In fact, a recent study has gone on to show that 37% children who do not eat right are 37% more likely to have cognitive impairment as an adult. And yet we are rearing our children in a world that is not promoting natural nutrition. It's this realization that led me to ZJ. It's this realization that led me to the tree of Moringa oleifera. You see what Moringa oleifera is? It is the most nutrient-dense botanical on earth. The most, superlative, right? The most, meaning there's not one better. I'm a scientist, right? I don't have dates, I don't have girlfriends, I don't have hobbies, right? I just play in the lab all day, right? And so what we do is we try to find the most of anything. That's my homage to the, that's what I put on my headstone or gravestone, right? He discovered the most of something. But for 50 years, over 500 peer-reviewed scientific articles have gone on to demonstrate and to prove and to validate that Moringa oleifera is the most, that nothing is more nutritious than that botanical. Vitamin A, which is carrots. Do you realize, gram for gram, Moringa's got more vitamin A than carrots? It's got more vitamin C than an orange. It's got the essential fatty acids you find in fish. It's got that elusive thing called methionine. It's got over 92 verifiable nutrients in it. You see, this tree isn't something that's common. This tree has gone on to be recognized by the World Health Organization, the National Institutes of Health, and several other entities. Understanding the power of this tree was incorporated into our daily lives, the impact it would have for generations to come. But the problem is, there are very few advocates for the natural world. You see, you can't patent a natural product. And because you can't patent the natural product, no company is going to invest into that product. And so what's happened is we have this tree, this solution to today's problems, but there's no advocate. There's no representatives for it. And that is why it is so important, as you guys are sitting here, that what we need is we need people such as yourselves that are passionate about making a change and understanding the power of your voice so that you become advocates for nature. And that this flag of Moringa oleifera is something that we represent every day because people's lives change through this single tree. Containing all of that vitamin A, all of that vitamin C, all those 92 other nutrients, all of these polyphenols to help with inflammation, all of these antioxidants. You see, this is the one thing our body needs. And yet, we're not sharing it. We need to be an advocate for good. We need to be an advocate for change. Now, ZJ International isn't just your typical run-of-the-mill Moringa oleifera company. No, that's not what we are. We're the first to commercialize this tree, and we are absolutely leading in its quality, and there's 5 key areas in which we are second to none. 1, we source the most nutritiously dense location of Moringa oleifera. You can grow Moringa oleifera in your backyard. I can grow it in a greenhouse in America. I can grow it in my kitchen. But depending on where Moringa is grown, it differs widely in its nutritional value. If you grow it in South America, it contains just a fraction of the nutrients as if you grew it in India. You can grow it here, but it will contain just a fraction of the nutrients of it growing in its optimal place. So what we've done is we've sourced it from the most nutritiously dense location of starting with Moringa oleifera. Second, Moringa is a tree. Its nutrients are found throughout the tree, in the leaves, the seed, the fruit. At ZJ International, we use all of those different parts together. We're giving you the complete nutrition the tree has to offer. Third, we shade dry the Moringa leaves. You see, so many companies out there will do that which is cheap, that which is fast, that which is easy, and they'll throw it into the sun. But the problem is when you put it in the sun, the ultraviolet radiation will absolutely cross-link those nutrients so that they are unable to be absorbed by your body. We shade dry moringa leaves, which Trees of Life has gone on to show will enrich the nutrients by up to 40-fold. You're getting like a crazy amount in this. It's huge. Now, we've also built a multi-million-dollar manufacturing facility specifically designed for Moringa oleifera. When we look at a sachet of super mix, have you found that? Does anyone found one of those? First person to get one out wins. Or a case, that one there. Guys, we actually have 7 machines that make these sticks. 7. Each one costs about $1 million. And in it, you'll notice, if you look at the sachet, just to give you an idea of how we don't cut any corners, the top is sealed. Now to seal it, you actually have to have heat to seal the oil. We had to personally design the machine so that the super mix comes down below in the sachet, far enough away from the heat. We spent millions of extra dollars to do that, to ensure that that heat does not interact with the product. Because if it did, it would destroy those nutrients. We aren't going to send you out on a revolution with empty guns. We are sending you out on a revolution with powerful weapons, and we are making sure that they are fully functional. The 5th component of why Zija is leading in its quality of moringa is we have built a quality team that is second to none. What we've done is we actually will bring in our Moringa oleifera and we will analyze it for several weeks. We'll look for any type of pesticide contamination, heavy metal contamination, bacterial contamination, using state-of-the-art instrumentation, such as ICP-MS, GC-MS, infrared spectrometry, and a variety of other stuff that no one else in this room understands, but it makes me feel smart, so I'm going to say it. What it does is it gives us the confidence, parts per billion resolution, of identifying any potential contaminants. There's a physicist over there. I think he may know what I was talking about. Now, this is something that's interesting. Not only do we do it on the raw ingredients before we even manufacture it, we do it again on the end ingredient, on the end product, making sure no contaminants were introduced into the product. Those 5 key areas continually set Zija apart as the moringa quality leader. Now, in addition to making sure we get our nutrition, we are also making sure that we are naturally healing. We naturally nourish. It is also imperative. If Zija is leading this charge of change, Zija International is leading this charge of the revolution, that we also naturally heal. And we do that through our Mayo essential oils. Now, you kind of like oils, right? Who's played around with essential oils before? Raise your hand. Who hasn't? Raise your hand high. Raise your hand, just anybody. All right, we got a few people listening. Excellent. So essential oils are nature's medicine cabinet. One person once asked me, do essential oils really work, Dr. Plant? Yes, they do. In fact, much of modern medicine today is built upon the efficacy of essential oils. Wintergreen essential oil contains a compound in it called methyl salicylate. Methyl salicylate is what will usually give you that decrease of pain, right? If you've heard of muscle, methyl salicylate will help to ease the pain in that area. Well, if you look at the active ingredient in most muscle rubs, it's methyl salicylate. The difference is, in those muscle rubs, that methyl salicylate is made synthetically. Do you know how you make it synthetically? You start with phenol, a very caustic acid. You'll add methanol, hydrosulfuric acid, right? Carbon dioxide. Methanol, which causes blindness. Hydrosulfuric acid is one of the most powerful acids out there. You put all this together, and you'll end up with methyl salicylate at the end. And even though it may look the same as the natural methyl salicylate, chemically speaking, they're not. right? To help illustrate this, I'm married to an identical twin, right? My wife has a human being that looks just like her, right? Even though they look exactly the same, I can tell you right now, I made the right choice. Just because they look the same doesn't mean they act or behave the same. You see, it's history that leads them to who they are, and they act completely different. It's the same way with respect to how molecules are made. You see, in chemistry, nothing is 100% pure. So even though that end molecule that you made may look similar to that which is found naturally, what you get are trace amounts of that methanol, which causes blindness. You're getting trace amounts of that hydrosulfuric acid, that powerful acid. You're getting trace amounts of that hydrogen peroxide. The list goes on and on and on, to where you are exposing your body to an abundance of toxins each and every day because of synthetic components in which you unknowingly add to it. Now, wintergreen essential oil has that methyl salicylate, but it's found naturally. The way in which you collect it is simple. Steam. That's it. Steam distillation of the wintergreen leaves will give you 6 times more potent methyl salicylate than what is commonly found in those muscle rubs. That is why essential oils are so popular. That is why essential oils work. But sadly, in today's world, essential oils work and it has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. Billions and billions and billions of dollars going into essential oils. But sadly, I believe they're all the same. Because what has happened is the billions of dollars have come into the essential oil, people haven't put that money into research and development. They've put that money into clevering marketing campaigns. And they've tried to differentiate themselves by coming up with clever slogans or grades or something of the sort, when in actuality, it's not doing anything different. That's sad, right? What they'll do is they'll trademark something, right? They'll just trademark it, making it sound so much more official than what it is. Who knows what Disneyland's trademark is? It's called the happiest place on earth. Has anyone been to Disneyland here? Oh. I've got 4 young kids, right? I took them to Disneyland. They say it's the happiest place on earth. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely broke. My kids are screaming. I'm sticky, and I feel like I'm going to throw up. It is not the happiest place on earth, right? So no matter what you trademark, it adds no difference in the value. So what we did, understanding that, we invested into research and development at AMAE. In fact, we have invested so hard, so intently into the research and development of our essential oils, in just a short time of 18 months, we have absolutely differentiated ourselves as the unquestionable leader in the scientific validation and quality and efficacy of essential oils. We have absolutely turned a multi-billion-dollar industry upside down on itself. What we have done is we are the first and only company to show that our essential oils penetrate living human cells. You see, the human cell is the basis of health. It's where human health begins. It's where disease dies. And we are the only company that has gone on to show that our essential oils penetrate living human cells. You can see this for yourself. On the bottom of every AMAE bottle of essential oil is a little code. Enter that in on the website, amaeodifference.com, and you can see for yourself that oil, that natural product interacting at the molecular level with life, with human life. We are the only company that can do that. We are the only company that compares our essential oils to the thousands of clinical studies out there, setting an unprecedented and unwavering quality of essential oils. We actually invested an immense amount of money into understanding how essential oils impact our epigenome. I just got really scientific on you guys. I'm going to explain a little bit about this. I need a volunteer. We got a volunteer? No one volunteers here. Excellent. Excellent. You just have to stand here and look cute. You're doing a great job. All right. So what we've got here is we've got, what's your name? Oh, wow. Tom. All right. We're off this stupid America. Sorry about it. I can't. Yeah, well, you can pronounce my name. I'm sure struggling with yours. All right. All right, so Tom, how tall are you? 1.53 meters? All right. So I'm about 2 meters, almost 2 meters. I am a giant, right? But you know what? Even though I'm a giant compared to you, do you realize that both of us have about 100 trillion cells? Yes. So even though I'm a lot bigger than him, and at 1.53 meters, 100 trillion cells make up Tom. Now, inside each one of these cells, if I was to take off one of these little cells of Tom, break it open, and in each one, there's almost 2 meters of DNA in that single cell. So I break open one cell of DNA, and you've got DNA that's taller than you. So Tom, at just 1.53 meters, actually has enough DNA to go from Earth to the sun 10 times if I unraveled all of his DNA. Yeah, but let's make you sound a little special. This is your moment to shine. Thank you, Tom. So think about it. All of that DNA, enough to go from Earth to the sun 10 times. That's crazy. 100 trillion cells, 2 meters of DNA per cell. And what I wanted to do as this young, naive, ambitious scientist is I said, I want to see what essential oils do to all this DNA. This is what's so great about our founder, Ken Brailsford. It's because this experiment was so overwhelmingly large and difficult. It was a mountain no one else dared to climb. No other company dared to venture such an overwhelming, large experiment. Our founder just said, yeah, let's do it. And so what we did is instead of going around the mountain of quality and knowledge, we scaled that mountain. We climbed that mountain. We had to partner with prominent research universities. We had to partner with biotech companies. And what we were able to do is once we got to the top of that mountain, we had a view no one else in the essential world had. We had a view that stretched thousands of miles because what we were able to see now is how essential oils, each essential oil, which genes they turn on, which genes they turn off, how that delicate interaction exists. Huge. We literally collected several billion points of data. Billions and billions of points of data that required huge supercomputers to analyze. And from this, what we were able to do is collect all of this knowledge to create blends that are helped to promote normal hormone balance in men, normal hormone balance in women, promote a stronger digestive system, and a variety of other things. No other company has that luxury now. And it is these consistent innovations that May was bringing to the essential oil space that continues to disrupt that multi-billion-dollar industry. And that is why, as you carve and you partner with Zeta International, that as you advocate for the natural products in which they are utilizing, that it puts you in a position of unique ability to be representing something that's not common. but something that is absolutely special. Now, in addition to naturally healing through our male essential oils, we also naturally condition. These products haven't come to Malaysia yet, and we're going to work aggressively to do so. But we have built products that help you get the most out of exercise. Who likes to exercise? Raise your hand. All right, about 30%. So a recent study of individuals in Malaysia shows that about 30% of people are dishonest. No one likes to exercise, right? Who are you pulling? Just kidding. I like to exercise. I always did it though. Have you ever noticed people that like to exercise, if they don't exercise, they get a little grouchy? It's because they actually become a little bit addicted to that. They like it. They start to get a little bit of euphoria. But the problem is it doesn't start off that way, right? I'm sure a lot of the people that raise their hands saying they like to exercise, they went to the gym one morning or they went to the park, they were stretching, they were going to say, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to feel good about myself. You know, they're stretching, they're getting ready, and they start to run. And then all of a sudden, here comes this guy with like a perfect waist, trim, running like a gazelle, right? So much faster than him. And now all of a sudden this person becomes a little discouraged. Right? They're thinking, I'm breathing so hard. In fact, I think I might be tasting blood now. Right? And here's this person just running so gracefully, seeming to be enjoying it. And yet we want to give up. We want to stop. But if you don't, if you continue to push yourself every day, all of a sudden you will soon realize that you are now that gazelle, you are now that guy, you are now that girl. And that's what's so amazing about exercise, is that you actually have to fight that which you hate to in turn love it. It's like a child. Just kidding. So what you have to do is you have to absolutely stay with it, you have to embrace it, you have to love it, but it's not easy. So what we've done is we've created products that help you do that, to help you get the energy before you work out, to help you get the most after you work out, to help you get your body the electrolytes while you're working out. This is our Ripstick supplement line. We're going to work aggressively to get as many products to you guys as possible. But what you see here at ZJ International is we just don't kind of dabble in one area of the natural health revolution. We just don't dabble there. What we do is we absolutely lead in naturally nourishing, naturally healing, and naturally conditioning in all three areas. That is why when somebody partners with ZJ International, they will change for the better. That is why when somebody partners with ZJ International, they have the ability to make an unprecedented change in the world. That is why when somebody partners with ZJ International, they become that change. Their lives become more enriched. And in turn, they inspire many others to do the same. I want to encourage each and every one of you today as you are sitting here, wanting to do something different, wanting to become something more, to become something better, that you take action. Because if you don't, you will be exactly where you are today tomorrow, and nothing could be more worse. Take action so that you can begin a quest of change that will inspire the masses. Thank you, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. We give Dr. Plant a big round of applause. Okay, so he's a scientist with company, VP, Senior VP for Research and Development. So recently he's doubled up as a COO. So we're really looking forward to see more of him in this region. So would you want to see him again?
Yes.
All right, so he said, you want to see him? Let's double up the sales, huh? All right, okay. Okay, so that means these coming months, you got to double up your purchase and double up in introducing to 2 more people. Is that okay to do that?
Yes.
All right. So I just want to give you a little bit more information about a little bit of testimony. All right. Just recently, I was in Korea, So in the tour bus, Q&A, yeah? All right, okay. I just reminder that there will be a Q&A. Anybody interested to ask Dr. Plant some questions? Oh, absolutely. Okay, I need you to be on the stage so that come to the mic. There's a mic there, and so that everybody can hear the questions. Okay, so your name and your questions to Dr. Plant.
Hello, my name is Paul Tan, and I'm a medical technologist by profession. I'm very interested in you mentioning about the 92 nutrients found in the Jija. Is there a certificate to show that every single item will have the 92 nutrients and what are the amount of it? And because I asked this before, and they said, oh, you go to the website, you go to the website. I would appreciate if you give us an exact answer and show us where to find it for each one of the production.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do I have to stay on stage? I feel so...
Okay, up to you.
Okay, so this is interesting. We talked about an orange giving you the vitamin C. Do you believe that an orange has vitamin C in it?
Say again?
Do you believe an orange has vitamin C in it?
Well, they say like it's a common knowledge everybody know, but we say that if I'm selling an orange which has got higher amounts of vitamin C, I will have to show proof, and I cannot just make a claim.
No, absolutely right. But you go to the market. Does that orange have a label on it?
I think please do not divert the answer. Just answer me directly. Is there a certificate to show that there are 92 items in each one of the production?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when we look at the 92 nutrients, they are there, right? We've tested them. Now, with respect to the 92 nutrients in a natural product, you're going to have variance, just as you